Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gameroom Discourse podcast. This is going to be episode 4 of the Christmas week, second to last episode. And this week is going to be, or this day is going to be fan games. Introductions, as always, I'm Mike.
I'm James.
And I'm Joey.
All right. And Joey, are we rolling?
Yes, we are. Everybody's audio is being recorded.
Great. Great. It's been
A
a
little
very
bit of a
stressful
technical.
episode to try to record, guys. So bear with us. We've been trying for a while to get this episode out. And then we finally started like 10 minutes ago, and then the recording software went down. So
Yep.
seems like God does not want us to get this episode out, but we're going to anyway. So fan games. Fan games are, the backbone of a lot of communities because it helps you get things that, the company may not do. And it keeps some franchises like mascots alive. Like certain games, and it can make games better. Like there's a remake of Sonic 06 that made that game super good, fixed all the issues. So, it's pretty good or pretty interesting. And there's a lot of talent that goes involved. A lot of people start off making fan games, and then they become big developers, big programmers and stuff, and it's really neat.
I think one main story of a programmer who worked on a fan game and then went to go on and make a game was the guy behind AM2R, who's now making the Ori series.
I didn't
Yeah.
actually know that.
Yeah.
AM2R is a great game
It really is.
that we will talk about a little bit later.
I just wanted to mention that little tidbit.
I do want to also mention, like, you get sometimes better quality games, or sometimes things that developers took out or decide not to implement in other games, or a lot of times implemented in fan games, like
Yeah.
Pokemon, for example. There's no way Nintendo's going to allow you to play as Team Rocket, but of course someone
Yeah.
else can make it, and so that you can now be the villain of the Pokemon world.
And
All
it's
those people that
beautiful.
ever wanted to say yes in freaking Cerulean City to the guy that said, "Hey, want to come to Team Rocket?" now can do that. Now it can be a part of Team Rocket and decide to steal people's Pokemon. It's ultimately a game that would not be made unless someone else made it that, wasn't a part of the company.
Yeah.
Fan games do so many things, and like mods and like fan modded games they're just so cool. I love it. You know, I love Sonic Omens, I think it's called, the new Sonic fan game that came out. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And I like most of the fan games I've played have been Sonic or Pokemon, so I won't say that I'm huge. Like, and I played it, but which does not belong in the franchise because it's not published. But we will talk about that later.
How
We'll
about a
save a
big one?
segment. What
How,
is that?
how about a big one? Project M.
Yes.
Oh, PM. Yeah, PM. Well, is PM a mod or is PM a fan game?
A little bit of both.
To the point that it's a little bit of both. To be fair, adding in your own characters, stages, and
I think P plus is more of a fan game than PM.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that.
It does add a lot more custom stuff, like Charizard being able to do Thunder Punch, Kirby down B when you do it on stage, does the little slide kick in the original Kirby games.
Yeah,
That kind
I
of
think
stuff.
Project M is more of a mod than a fan game, and then P
To be
plus.
fair, adding it a lot of fan games are based mostly on mods, honestly.
Well, yes, but in the case of something like Pokemon, a lot of those mods change everything in it, whereas PM is still using most of the characters and adding some, and just
I,
changing some of the mechanics.
I
You know what I
wouldn't
mean?
say that too much for fan games for Pokemon. Like, sometimes they're
Oh,
still
at
in the
least the ones
same
that I've played.
region.
Well,
It's
yeah, but
I
it
mean,
changes
like,
the
people can
story.
custom make it and change the story and change who you can get, but I feel like it's still like fan interaction with it. Well, okay. Well, how about this topic? Well, at what point does a mod become a fan game? At what point does it become a fan game?
When it
I
has
want to
more
bring up that
content
question.
or more than 50% different content
Yeah,
than the
I would
original.
say when it does more different than it has the same,
Mm.
or
Okay, so
when it's taking or when there's more original content in it than replaced content with different maybe graphics or whatnot. Now in the case of something like there's a couple exceptions to that I can think of. In the case of the Sonic '06 mod, that may be the same game and whatnot, but it completely overhauls the gameplay. So
And
I think that
mechanics.
kind of counts as
Yeah.
that. It's not all about the graphics and necessarily the content. When there's
okay,
when the
can
originality or differences outweigh the similarities, I would say.
I,
okay, how about this then? Would you consider a fire red or light leaf green game Chainsaw that has all the parts in the Pokédex and also it plays like it's supposed to? Like there's the right typing, there's
What do
all
you mean?
the 900 plus Pokemon in it. So
Oh,
so
so
so it
so
plays so it
essentially,
plays like it would play in like Generation 9 now, rather than it would play in Generation 3.
that's a fan game.
Okay then.
So
Like
like
I'm saying,
that
nothing
adds
else.
that adds more to that original game. It may not be original content but in the case of that game, it's original content because that game did not exist with those 900 Pokemon. It only exists with I've got a ballpark 300, and um, so in the context of that game, those 300 Pokemon are the same content. Adding the other 600 is different content. When that outweighs what's already there, when the differences outweigh the similarities, I would say is when it becomes a fan game. When it becomes a different game, ergo a fan game.
so what
When
about
the differences overall change it.
what would you consider for say Club Penguin went down, but people
All
are
right, here,
making their
hold on. I know nothing about Club Penguin.
Club Penguin was an online game where you
I
logged
know what it
in.
is,
Oh,
but I've never played it. I've never seen it. I've only heard of it.
okay. Well, what if there's Club Penguin? It got taken down recently. Well, not really recently, like years ago, but people have brought it up under their own moniker. Would you? It's almost identical. Would you consider that a fan game?
No,
Okay.
that is something that existed before and is just essentially headed by different people.
Okay.
That's like buying an IP and maybe changing the name, but it's still the same game. So no, it's not a fan game. It's you know, I think my stance has not changed the entire time you guys have been asking these hypotheticals.
I'm
That
asking.
that
Well, you didn't really
nothing
state your
changed.
stance here. You
My
haven't
stance,
stated
I've
your
said it
stance.
three or four times. I think that when the differences in the new product outweigh the what has been or what was the product was originally, when it outweighs the originality, then it's a fan game. In the case of just
That is
changing the name
not
of
the
the
stance I was talking about.
oh well,
But
that's my
okay,
what stance are you asking me to take?
Joe, you know which stance I'm talking about, right?
Uh,
Oh, my AM2R stance?
I was I was saying at what point you said do fan games not count as a game? I believe was the statement,
You
or
no,
rather,
he
it
asked
doesn't
me
count
that.
for the series, or rather, it doesn't count for the series.
no,
Oh, I
you
don't think they ever count for the series unless they're published and acknowledged by the people who created the series.
I
like
don't
with
know
Black
about that.
Mesa, it was basically a fan-made recreation of Half-Life 1.
Yeah, but it's not canon, it's not counting, it's not acknowledged.
No, it
There's a
is.
lot of
It's being sold.
non-canon games.
It's being
Oh, is it?
sold with the blessing of Valve on the
Oh,
Steam
then that's
store.
fine. Then that's
Yeah.
good. Then that counts.
It wasn't made by Valve. It just has their blessing, basically. They saw it and were like,
Oh,
"Oh, okay, cool."
and that's why I say that Sonic Mania counts. Now, Sonic Mania is a bit more, I guess, approved because it's physically published. But in that case, yeah, no, that counts. In the case of AM2R, Nintendo doesn't acknowledge it. The Metroid creators don't acknowledge it as part of the canon. It is not, it has never been acknowledged by the canon. Now, the community may disagree with me, and I don't really care because it's all about opinions anyway. Um, I have been on this podcast saying that I think that it's a great game. Not taking away from the people who made it, it's incredible. It's great. It's not part of the Metroid series because Metroid is owned and run by Nintendo, and Nintendo does not consider it part of the series. So I think it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, that is
But
fair. But I would add in my own 2 cents by saying
go
you
for it.
should still play it because it's a good game.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, of course. Play any fan game. A lot of them are really good. That's how you find a lot of hidden gems. That's how you find new developers a lot of times with fan games, indie games, things where people are making their own thing. Now,
Yeah.
some of them can be really shit, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And then maybe if you want to donate to those people, if it's legal. Maybe if it's not legal, then still do it, but don't be so stupid about it. But like,
If it's
no,
Nintendo, you're
I'm not.
morally obligated.
Yeah, I am not of
Morally
the opinion that because it doesn't belong in the series that it's a bad game. That's a very foolish point for anyone to make. The game should be judged based off of if the game is good. I'm talking
Yes.
about the legitimacy of it in it being a part of a franchise that it's not acknowledged by the franchise owners.
Thing
And I
is,
don't. Uh,
I when I think of playing the whole Metroid franchise in order and recommending it to people, I will always recommend AM2R as the Metroid 2 version for people to play.
that's fair. It's a more easy version to follow, and it certainly holds up better than Metroid 2. And but
Exactly.
I think that's why they released Samus Returns for the 3DS to kind of snuff that out because that's a
No, it
remake of
was
the same.
being made at around the same time. Games take
No,
like 6 years to come out. AM2R was
no,
also
no. Metroid games take about 6 years to come out. Let's be fair here. Pokemon comes out
Eh,
every year.
good. Okay, I'll
not
reiterate.
not
Good games.
always.
Good games take 6 years to come out.
Good game.
Did that
You son
clear
of
it
a
up?
bitch. Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Um, I think a lot of Pokemon games are objectively good. They're just sometimes boring and they
Okay,
don't do much new.
subjectively good games.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Um, no, so I don't have a problem with people playing AM2R. I think it's great. I think it's better than Metroid 2. I think it's a better telling of Metroid 2. I think that it would be very financially smart for Nintendo to acknowledge and publish AM2R because they had big money. It'd make people happy, and it would make more money for Metroid. I think it'd be great, but they won't do that because they didn't make it, and they're stingy and
Yep, they're so stuck up in their ass.
they're stubborn. But to be fair, I guess all said and done, they kind of have a right to be in certain cases, and with their IPs, they do have a right. I can't really say that they don't have a right. They've made them, and they're very successful. Their
Yeah.
hardware is a different story, but when it comes to their IPs, they have every right to be stubborn, even if it's annoying.
Yes, and I like to
It is
believe that
annoying.
yeah, it is very annoying. I like to believe that sometimes they put out really, really good gems,
They
but then
do.
other times they snuff out Pokemon Uranium, then bring out Pokemon Scarlet Violet that runs at 15 frames per second.
Not even, dude. Don't give it too much credit.
I know.
That
It's
game runs like dirt.
yeah, it's
That
like
game runs like dirt in the Sahara, and people are maybe wondering, there's no dirt in this. That's the point.
yeah. And
It doesn't do anything. It's
it's
so.
games like Project M where you see the kind of community overhaul trying to come up
Mhm.
with like the most balanced characters, trying to come up with the
Project
most
M
fun.
is supposed to be the brawl that everyone wanted, essentially, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you
I
see
only
what
played it a couple
Nintendo's
times.
then you see what Nintendo's doing with Smash Ultimate and they're just completely shitting the bed.
I think Smash Ultimate's fantastic. I just think that they
Esports.
should. I thought,
Trims.
shut up. I think Smash Ultimate's fantastic, but some of their decisions after making the game have been very annoying and obnoxious, like their esports decisions
Yeah.
and the fact that they are stopping releasing. They have a gold mine. They can just keep releasing shit. They
Yeah.
have a literal gold mine. People are willing to continue paying the $6 for new characters and keep refining the character so that nobody's broken.
I would
They
be able to.
should just do it.
I would be willing to play or to buy $6 character skins that actually add like something that looks really cool.
No, just keep adding characters. You don't need to make another Smash game. Just keep refining this one.
Character skins would also be nice. There's a
Yes.
lot of good like actual skins.
Something
And,
like
and-
something like Mr. L as Luigi.
Gee, yes, exactly. Or
Yeah.
like good references like you could have put freaking you could have made a catchy for Joker, honestly.
Yeah.
And it fundamentally would have not changed at all. Like they did a good job like with Pokemon Trainer, but I was like, you could have done slightly more for that. You could have changed the models of the trainers in the background.
Yeah, you could have made it so that it was different trainer from different series.
Series exactly. Instead
There are
of like
8 skins. At the time, there were 8 generations. Come on,
generations
Pokemon.
of
Numbers.
Yeah.
You know how to do numbers. I know you know how to do numbers. You
Considering there's
taught
over
me
1,000
rock, paper,
Pokemon.
scissors, basically.
Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
Exactly.
And then there's fairy type. I mean, other than that, I have more fan games to talk about. Like one that James and I have played a lot of, GoldenEye Source.
Oh yeah, GoldenEye Source is honestly just a superior GoldenEye.
Yes, the only thing that is missing is story mode.
Yeah.
If it had that, it would be the best way to play GoldenEye. But it's still got an amazing multiplayer.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I just zoned out for like a minute and a half. I don't know why. I'm so sorry.
No,
Did
it's
not
fine.
hear us talk about GoldenEye at all.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay.
GoldenEye Source.
Yeah.
What is GoldenEye Source?
It is a Source remake of GoldenEye, but only for multiplayer. But
What
even then,
is
that's
the
the best
Source
part.
remake?
There's an engine called the Source engine that was used to make like Half-Life 2, all those types of games. And so someone took that engine and remade all the assets, all the weapons and everything in that engine with GoldenEye.
Ah,
And it is
that's
super fun.
that's really cool.
I know.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it feels like sometimes fans, and I mean they do this, put in more effort than the actual creators sometimes because they're more dedicated to it than like
Just like
a
yeah.
company that has to make a profit every now and then.
Like Nintendo or Konami
Exactly.
or Ubisoft or Epic Games. Wait, did I say that? Oh.
Little cheeky.
Cheeky beaky.
But no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrating too, where it's just like I kind of wish. Why couldn't you do this? You could have done so many cool things with so many of these characters that you have, or the story that you made, or why have you completely abandoned the series for some reason? Why would you do this?
It's like, why did you let Mario and Luigi die when you could have just made Partners in Time and people would have been happy and bought it? Why did you have to make Bowser's Inside Story, which people could already play on the 3DS? Why did you have to
Because
ruin Paper Mario?
Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts on many levels.
Yeah. I liked Origami King. And I think
I'm
most people liked it, but the problem was it's not what they want in Paper Mario, and that's true.
Exactly. It's like they started out with an amazing sundae for the first game, and then gave us an amazing cake, and then gave us an amazing burger for the third game. It's like, this isn't what we wanted, but it's still absolutely delicious. And then a piece of shit for the fourth game. And they've been slowly,
Yeah.
they've
And
been
then a piece of
slowly,
shit with a cherry on top.
yeah, they've
game.
slowly been improving the
And then
piece of
just a
shit over the
cherry
years.
for
It's just the cherry. It's like, yeah, this is fine. It's just not what we want. It's sweet.
There's
Like
still a stem inside, and I have to get out of my teeth.
there's still a pit.
A pit, yeah, that's what it's called.
And it's very annoying because we know Nintendo can make great games. It's just that they won't because they've got to stick so far up their ass. They basically become a
I
Gen
don't even
6
know if that's
Pokemon.
it. I just think they don't communicate or acknowledge or pay attention to what their fans want. I think they just do what they think that if they think we want, and then they just assume that what it sells is how much we like it. I don't think they inherently do things to upset their fans. I just don't think they look at what their fans are saying. I think they just ignore it.
You
Yeah.
Like,
just see it and decide
'cause
not
they're
to do it.
never on Twitter. Like they're never anywhere. They're never answering
Okay,
people. They're never
how about
talking.
how about for fan content? Like for TF2, for like a lot of times when creators make something like for the TF2, sometimes it just gets actually implemented into the game, like with the community. And I think
TF2
that's
is
amazing.
TF2 is a case that is just one big exception. It's that I really don't have an answer for you.
I mean,
Um,
if I feel
I think
like if
TF2 is just a is an anomaly because it's one of the few times a game was made and then the fans are allowed to change the game. It's sometimes when they want to.
they should, at this point, I feel like they should just hand over everything. Just give them
Like
just
I
give
don't
the fan.
understand it.
It,
I've never seen something like it before where fans just kind of change the game. I don't understand it. I love it. It's great. It's great to be that close to your community, but you know, it's a
just
shame
give
that
them
it's
the
such an
reins.
anomaly.
just to
I don't know
basically
about that.
let.
Some fans can be really crazy. I wouldn't give them the reins completely.
Not
I mean,
every
I
if
fan the
you
disagree.
reins. It's just like the
like,
most creative and the people who have been known to release the most content and make it so that they have to get the go ahead by Valve.
Yeah, which they kind of already have to, but I don't know. I don't know much about
because
that situation, but I think it's an interesting one. Man, I'm tired. Holy fuck. Today is catching up with me.
Oh yeah, and I'll talk about mods because you guys like mods, right?
Yeah,
yes,
I love mods.
Yeah, that's basically what Project M is. One entire huge mod that keeps on getting bigger and bigger.
Would you?
And
Oh God. Would you consider certain Minecraft mods to be fan games? Because I would.
yes, RT Craft is
yeah,
basically its entire, or RL
RL
Craft.
Craft.
Sorry.
Magic Craft,
RL Craft
RL
is a
Craft.
fan game, and I've played that for at least 1,000 hours now. I've played that more than I've. No, I haven't. I've played that for almost more than I've played through the entirety of Minecraft, like without like not counting RL Craft. But
Yeah, Minecraft mods is like one of the biggest parts. Like I remember playing Skyblocks, and it's really fun.
hmm,
And then there's other parts of mods where it's what some that add new content and others that add quality of life. Like I've been I've been using Binding of Isaac mods, and I cannot go back, where it instantly teleports you to the treasure room and makes sure that you get a good item on your first floor, so that you don't waste your time going through the whole thing and just to die on the second floor and try again.
yeah,
And then there's other games which add more content through mods, but or yes, the Prime Hack. You know what that is, right? It's basically a Metroid
mm,
Prime trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, but through Dolphin and changed so that you use a keyboard and mouse controls instead of Wii Remote and Nunchuck.
huh,
So it's more
interesting.
like a classic shooter.
It really does help. I mean, yeah, some fan games are also just more accessible versions of other games, really,
Yes.
which is
Yeah,
pretty
that's
sick.
true. Like AM2R, it's just a more accessible version of Metroid 2.
Or Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on
One is
Steam,
two.
where people just basically made a mod thing that just turns it back into the original Dreamcast versions and with higher quality of life. It's just fans know what they want, so if they have the ability to, they'll put it in and share it And then if it's really good, everybody will consider it the best version of the game. And even then, there are things like Doom mods where it's the original 1993 game, and they'll mod it to all hell to basically be a different game. Like, wasn't Doom originally like a Wolfenstein mod
Yeah.
or something?
I don't think it was. Was it?
Could have been.
I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised. They're very similar.
is it the other
It
way
might be the other
around?
way around. Yeah, it might be the other way around. I don't know.
I'll look it up. Uh, yeah, I'm not seeing anything. A lot of shitty, like, oh, there's a fan game named Wolf and Doom, which is on topic, but is not what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, and then I've been seeing a lot of Life Era videos with Dragon Ball Fighter Z mods.
Yeah.
Where there's Shadow, and then there's Robotnik, and then we're back on the topic of Sonic, but now it's Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
We always end up here.
I know. Every single video is secretly a Sonic video.
Sonic fans. Just to let you guys know, we're Sonic fans.
We are.
Oh, and then there's the biggest game for modding, Skyrim.
Oh my goodness, yes. There's at so many points. It could easily be considered just a fan game with the amount of mods in it.
Yes. There's just a lot you can change.
Yes.
Yes.
And I mean, basically every game on Steam is rife for mods. Like, have you seen the one where it's Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, over Spider-Man in the Spider-Man game?
Yeah.
Or there's Resident Evil 2 where whenever X, like Mr. X shows up, it's X gonna give it to you.
X gonna give it to you.
Oh. It's just mods add a lot more fun to games that you're already bored of, or adds more quality of life to games that aren't as accessible. And I can keep on bringing up things where it's like mods that add quality of life that I've downloaded, or mods that add new content that I've downloaded, or mods that just replace models. And it's just funny.
Yeah. I love. Oh, man, there's so many like. I don't know. There's something about fan games. It's like you can always expect something good if you look hard enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much variety to it all.
It's because fan games, they know what they like, and they will try anything because there's no risk of failure. They're just trying anything for the sake of trying. And if it hits, it hits. If it goes down, it goes down. But
Heck, they
hey,
could just take the stuff out and just instantly, choose something else instead.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are some games where they just basically take an original idea, like The Witness, the puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a parody of it called The Looker.
Oh wait, there's an even worse thing of that everyone should know. The Five Nights at Freddy's copies that just
Oh god.
Oh my
appear
God!
all
Right.
the time.
Five Nights at
All
Candy's.
those fan games, dear
One night at
lord.
Flumpty's. 5 Nights at Candy's.
That
5 Nights at the Krusty Krab. 5 Nights at
whenever
anything.
a new Five Nights at Freddy game gets even announced, they just flood everything. It's so god.
It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Dear lord.
And I'm looking through my Steam list like I usually do for ideas for this video, like videos
I
that
mean, some of them are good. There's one based off SCP, like SCP in general. God, that's another fan game. SCP Secret Laboratory is a fan game of another SCP fan game. Dear Lord, it's actually oh god, it's Inception fan games. It's a fan game of a fan game. It's,
Wow.
basically, there's a single player mode that was originally made for SCP, where you go around and explore the laboratory, and then there's then they made a multiplayer version of it, basically, where everyone is going through the facility either as an SCP or as like a guard or one of the D boys or oh yeah, I'm trying to focus, but I'm also playing the game in the background. If you guys could tell, uh, but yeah, several other classes where it makes exploring and actually part of like the SCP franchise. Well, I shouldn't really call it franchise, but lore.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the SCP IP.
I guess,
It's
yeah.
not really a property of anybody. It's like public domain. So SCP PD, police department.
I don't know about it, surprisingly. SCPs are like up my alley. I love SCP.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games or a lot of people make SCP fan games, and
It was,
that's how. What is it? I don't know the exact number, but it's the one that like leaves a leak underneath him, and the moment you blink, he just snaps your neck.
079
Yeah.
or 73.
You
No,
know the
173.
exact number.
173. Yeah, I know the exact number because it's like the most popular one.
I
173.
know, and how is
Peanut.
it made the most popular? Because of that one game.
One game. Yes. Well, it was also the original SCP, but also it got even more popularized because the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then there's Rivals of Aether mod characters.
I used to play Rivals of Aether a lot. I played it with you a couple times.
Yeah.
I have not played that game probably since the last time you and I played it.
I mean, it's very fun. It's just why play that when you can play Smash?
Yeah.
Sure, it has other
I
different
love
characters.
Amnesia has so many fan games because well they call them custom stories, but the Amnesia custom stories are amazing. It's like they create fans create their own like whole story and like areas that they can build it, and they're like released with the game. Like it's insane. That one of the best ones that actually got released with a bundle was Justine, and it's so good. Like horror games have a lot of fan games. I don't. I think because it's easier. Like a lot of fan games or a lot of horror games are indies, so it's easier to make a fan game of something that's not by a big developer.
Yep.
Mm.
Oh, and then there are fan games that like there's one fan game, it's a Street Fighter 2 kind of like mod. Basically,
Yeah.
it's like Rainbow Edition or something. If you've ever heard of it, they gave
Ooh.
everybody a Hadouken, like a homing one, everybody a
Ooh.
teleport. There are some characters that can switch between characters, and everything was made super fast.
Hmm.
It is very stupid, but also very fun, from what I've seen.
Interesting.
And there are games that you can just talk about the entire Steam Workshop and say, "Oh, those are mods. They're fan games."
Basically.
True.
Like Tabletop Simulator just takes everything that people think of, put it in there, and so you can play D&D, you can play Cards Against Humanity, you can play any board game imaginable if people put it in there. Or hey, you can make your own board game through there. And if people seem to like it, hey, you can make your own physical version of it. You can play Ticket to Ride, you can play Settlers of Catan, whatever the hell you can think of. I actually played Uno with Josh before.
Really.
Yes.
That's kind of crazy.
It's very crazy what you can do with mods and custom stuff or even fan games. It's just incredible. Yeah.
What
I mean,
else? Oh, sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, like, do you guys have any more fan games we can live?
I mean, I could keep on listing Pokemon games, but that would seem redundant.
Yeah,
Trying to
we
think
already had
of
a Pokemon episode.
yeah. Uh, yeah, we did. I'm trying to think of exactly which one I need to think about. There's a lot of what is that Mega Man game? That's basically the game that's basically a Mega Man game. I'm
20XX.
trying to remember. Yes, exactly that.
I don't
I
know.
feel
What
like
is this?
it's basically the Mega Man game. Mega Man game.
It's a roguelike Mega Man game where every
Game.
single level is procedurally generated. But it's more like Mega
Hmm.
Man X than it is any other Mega Man game.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes. And it came out with the sequel.
Ooh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's really nice.
First comment that I see is Mighty Number 9 raised over $4 million. 20XX raised a little over 20K. It's not how much money you have, but what you do with it that matters clearly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mighty Number 9.
quality
God, I remember that
and
one too.
the thing is with fan games, they can have as much time as they want because
Well,
you
no
know,
one's expecting them to do that, and
yeah,
also
exactly. So the
you don't
quality
you
can
don't
be
have to put.
insane.
And I mean, fans do crazy stuff. Like when Nintendo refused to release a Mother 3 like translation, fans just went,
Wait.
okay, I guess I'll do it.
I'll do it
Fine, I got to
myself.
do everything myself.
Yeah.
I'll do it myself.
And then when the people behind Persona, I forget what the company is named, but when they decided, like, hey, we have Persona 1, Persona 2 Part 1, and Persona 2 Part 2, let's have Persona 2 Part 1 be English exclusive for PSP, and Part 2 be Japan exclusive. And so people who want to play those games are fucked because you either have to play all PS1 games, in which case it's the opposite. One of them's Japan exclusive and the other one's English exclusive. So you need to play a PSP game, then a PS1 game. Or vice versa, where someone just went, hey, let's just release a fan-made translation. And so they did. And so now you can play
Damn.
all the PSP versions, and Atlas, the company behind the Persona games, just don't acknowledge everything behind Persona 3. And it sucks because
Yeah.
Persona 1 and
I
2,
didn't realize there was Persona fan games. Interesting.
no, it's fan translation.
Oh,
There are probably
Because
Persona fan games as well.
you probably are. Most likely.
okay.
I mean, how Persona came to be was a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei.
Mm. Let's see, I'm trying to look at for myself also with some good fan games. Like I did also talk before about Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and how I was pissed that it basically got dropped as a franchise. Dear Lord, they did make a Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4 though. Fans did, and yeah, it was a lot of added content because it basically added all of Super, including the movies, characters, and like the new forms and all that.
Huh.
Which was a lot of work. And he even made several different stages and added a dialogue from the anime for both Japanese and English for it, which is pretty awesome.
Ooh.
I mean, like, it's not an official sequel, but I personally like it. They did do a decent job with it in a lot of places.
So
Like, and
what
they
would you
also
guys?
constantly update it.
Oh, sorry. Every
I was
time I
gonna
try
say
to
they,
ask a question, I get cut off.
That's how Discord
yeah,
works.
yeah. You
Um,
don't know.
what did
You
you
don't,
guys?
go for it. Go for it.
No,
I
for
give you
you.
the floor. I give you the floor, Mike.
You,
Talk.
rip, you ripped it out of the... Oh wait, it's not there anymore.
What is y'all's favorite fan game? If you had to,
AM2R.
Favorite
okay.
fan game? There's a lot, honestly.
I mean, a close second is Project 06, but AM2R is just up there.
Oh yeah, we did talk about it too much, didn't we?
No, not really, because
Do
I've been waiting.
you, do you want to talk about it then?
Um, have well, we talked about it a little bit. I talked about why I don't think it's a or why I don't think it belongs in the thing. Um, however, um,
I mean, the basic gist of it is, in terms of Metroid 1 and its remake, Zero Mission, that's basically what they did to Metroid 2. And with Samus Returns, the official Metroid 2 remake, the
yeah,
this Mercury Steam just did their own thing. They didn't follow in the
and
footsteps
they did an
of.
amazing job.
They did a good job. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I should have because I played AM2 before it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do like the melee counter. Metroid Dread does it way better.
Oh my God, yes.
Being able to do it while moving, not having to wait for like a melee counter thing to show up. You can just do it wherever. The range of it being insane. And then Samus Returns is you have to be stationary. They have to be right in front of you. You have to wait until they do the move.
Yeah,
Mm.
but you know, it works. It's good.
Yeah, it works. And I mean, I did enjoy it. I definitely
Yeah.
enjoyed the digging boss, like the drill boss in.
Hmm.
Yeah, that one was hard, but it was good hard. It's the
The best.
difficulty that like Metroid is. I wouldn't say missing. It's just
It
I've
needs
been
it,
missing.
Metroid needs to be like a bit difficult
It
because it,
needs to be
that's
foreboding
you're
because that's
yeah, that's the whole gist of it.
yep.
That's the point.
Mm.
At least that's what I think the point is.
Yeah. Back to favorite fan games. Do you guys list yours?
Oh, mine's the Sonic 06 remake.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
it's
one's
a good
really
one.
good.
It is a good one. Close second would have to be Pokemon and Rocket Edition.
That is fair.
Yeah, it's good.
Being
It,
able to
it
be the
adds a
bad guy.
lot.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, do we have anything else to say?
Not too much.
Do you guys think we missed anything?
Sonic Utopia, if you've played it.
I have played it,
Have
but I
not.
don't remember too much of it.
It's
I'm
kind
gonna
of
be
like
honest with you.
if 2D Sonic didn't just when they went to 3D just didn't turn into homing attack and boost formula. If it was faithful to 2D Sonic with like momentum and ramps and everything like that, but in 3D,
Hmm.
Ooh.
and it's very fun. And then there's Sonic after the sequel,
Yes.
and then there's Sonic Mania. We talked about it. And then there's Sonic before the sequel.
Sonic Mania is
And then there's Sonic the Shooting
so good.
Stars.
You guys
There's a
know a lot
lot.
more fan games than I do.
And then there's Sonic Yeth.
Yes.
No,
Somebody's
not yes.
dying outside because
Yeth.
I just hear nothing but alarms.
Sonic fan games are basically Sega lets them do whatever the hell they want, so they do whatever the hell they want. And yes, there are some there are a lot of terrible ones, but then you get really, really good gems.
Hmm.
It's really weird, but also really good. In fact, I watched an Antu video once about
I
all the.
love him. I've gotten so into him lately.
I love his Kirby games reviews.
It is.
Oh yeah, and then there's the Sonic. what is it? The Sonic mobile games of 1 and 2 decompilation. And then there's Sonic Advanced remap or revamped, which is Sonic Advanced but remade.
Hmm.
There's just a lot of Sonic fan games.
There is.
I'm looking at a fan games wiki, and there are like 27 tabs.
Well, that's because a lot of those games are really cringy.
Well, yeah,
Normally.
if you sometimes as a creator, you got to get the really bad stuff out so you can improve as a person. And if you get it out to the
True.
world and it's really bad, people will tell you everything that's bad of it. And there you go. There's your improvements. That's where you improve.
That is true. People will definitely tell you.
Yeah. You gotta, unlike school where failure is failure and you have to move on in life, you fail, you learn from your mistakes, you move on, you get better. There's no permanent record.
True.
There's nothing like that. You just get better.
Because people actually are willing to give somewhat good feedback and tell
Yeah.
you what you did wrong. Like if you had done this, I would appreciate if you did this next time.
Please do this.
And then I know we don't really have much else to talk about, but there's
Well, these
Sonic,
look just
Sonic R Online,
oh god, yes. There's
and
also a bunch of online Pokemon multiplayer too, like
exactly.
Pokemon Showdown for one.
Yes, Pokemon
Basically,
Showdown.
basically the community's decision. Like it is the definitive way to play competitive Pokemon, rather than playing in the actual games because you can actually play on whatever version of Pokemon you want, whatever team you want, as long as
Yeah.
they existed in that generation. And they also even have them ranked in like tutorials. Like a lot of stuff is linked for the community as well. So it's like actually it gives you stats about the Pokemon and their options and whatnot. Like it's actually very like helpful and intuitive, which is why I'm surprised Pokemon itself hasn't done this.
They don't do it
True.
because they make enough money doing a yearly release. I know that's
You're
bleak, but
right.
that's yeah, it's true.
You're right. You're right.
Uh,
Why am I talking? What am I talking about?
Like if they made something like Pokemon Origin Platinum, people would buy it in droves, but it'd still be a Pokemon game. If they did,
Yeah.
if they released Diamond and Pearl without any of the Platinum stuff and made it as garbage as possible, people would still buy it. Hell, I did.
Well, we didn't know. Well, we kind of knew Platinum was coming because at that point there was a theme going on of just they're 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 gonna make
The
a third
third
game
game.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
wish they
This
still
is
did that.
yeah, but I mean, I was talking about
to be f-
No,
BDSP.
actually, no, I don't. You know what I wish they did?
because
I wish they put all the content in one game.
Yeah.
yeah, but it encourages trading for that too, and also to
Yeah,
buy
but
two
fuck
copies
that. I don't want to buy 2 games.
or trade it with a friend because
I don't
you got to
have
make.
friends.
That's unfortunate. I thought we were friends.
It's an illusion, James. I'm not here. You're not
Oh,
here.
okay.
It never happened.
Understandable.
It's
That's
false.
understandable. That makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
It explains a lot more things that's happened in the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. I mean, do we have anything else to talk about?
Not sure.
No, not really.
I mean, there are games like spiritual successors to franchises like Rivals of Aether was trying to be for Melee. Uh, Project M was trying to be for Melee. Uh,
A lot
other
of games
games
wanted
that
to
were
be
trying to
melee.
be like Melee.
There's a lot of games that wanted to be melee.
Yeah. There's a game called Bits and
the-
Bops that's of development that's trying to be like a spiritual successor to Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, spiritual successors, if you look for them, you'll find them. And all these fan games, if you look for them, you'll find them. We just don't have time to list off everything, and even then,
everything.
it would just
Yeah.
be, oh, hey, what about this title? Oh, that's cool. Silence. Oh, what about this title? Oh, that's cool. Silence.
Yeah, we've kind of talked about most of what we wanted.
Yeah. Anything else for closing?
No, I think
Not
that's
that I
it.
can think of currently. I think we could close it off here with yes, fan games are good and should be done more often,
Definitely.
Absolutely.
especially since they help out the community in the long run anyway.
Yes, and
And
even
also,
if,
it
oh,
even shows that hey, it can be done better sometimes.
Yeah, it's amazing how many times like fan games are actually just better than what the fucking like company actually puts out, which is you don't hear that often.
yeah. And I'd say even if the company hates it, still release it. It gives them like it gives both publicity to the company, which I don't know why they'd be taking it down because it gives them more word of mouth. And not only that, it gives them competition. So people are gonna say like, "Hey, I'm still gonna buy your game, but can't you make it more like this?"
Like this. I greatly appreciate it if you actually did better.
If you
Exactly.
did better than, two people in a barn.
If instead of taking 1 year to make a new game, how about you took, I don't know, 2 years?
Yeah,
But if
maybe you
you
give yourself some time.
to make sure it's a good game.
Yeah.
If
But
this
I don't
indie
know.
person in their basement can make this, like Mike said,
Yeah, exactly.
And
this person can make a better game than you just by looking at your blueprints and just actually taking your time. Maybe you should try and do better.
Try harder.
yeah,
Try harder next time.
or maybe give them the reins like with Black Mesa or Sonic Mania.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, we'll probably come back to this topic because we're all tired. We might do it better. Um, and there's so much to talk about with fan games. We don't ever want to rule off. Um, but as for now, that'll do it for the fourth episode of Christmas Week. Thank you all for tuning in. It was a lot of fun. I know it dragged on a little bit at the end. Um, but that's why we
Especially
do these that's why we do these episodes with topics that wouldn't be great for 2 hours. So because Christmas week is a little bit shorter episodes but more content. So um but yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow and thank you all for watching as always. I'm Mike
I'm James.
And I'm Joey.
and good fucking night.
Get some sleep.
Honestly.